If you are still holding out hope for a happy romantic reunion between Jason and Britt next week, I am here to tell you right now to prepare for a brutal, soul-crushing heartbreak. For those of you lighting candles and praying that these two will finally ride off into the sunset together, it is time to blow them out. I know so many of us have been waiting years for this specific puzzle to fall back into place, but the reality of what is about to unfold is going to shatter every single expectation you have. The door is officially slammed shut on Jason's romantic future, and the wreck devastation heading Britt's way is going to leave us all absolutely speechless. You might think you know how a soap opera reunion works, but the writers are throwing out the rulebook and giving us a jaw-dropping twist that no one, and I mean no one, could have ever predicted. So grab your coffee and your tissues, ladies, because the fairy tale is dead, and the nightmare of unrequited boundaries is just beginning. Let me set the stage for you, guys, because the current chaotic landscape of our beloved town is nothing short of a powder keg waiting for a match. We all saw Jason make his highly anticipated return to the screen, but if you look closely, this is not the same man who left us. He has been fundamentally changed by his traumatic captivity. He took the fall for Rocco shooting Ross, sacrificing his own freedom to protect his nephew, and that level of profound sacrifice has entirely rewired his brain. Jason has officially decided to leave the mob. He stood right in front of Sonny and Carly and declared that his days as a mob enforcer are completely over. His sole focus, his entire reason for drawing breath right now, is his son, Danny. Since Danny's mother passed away, Jason realizes he is the only parent that boy has left, and he absolutely refuses to risk his life or risk going to prison ever again. He is building a massive fortress around himself and his son, and he is locking the rest of the dangerous world out. On the other side of town, we have Britt, who has just survived a literal nightmare of her own. Guys, Britt was on the run with Rocco, facing terrifying pursuers, dealing with the horrifying belief that her disease was rapidly deteriorating, and unknowingly carrying poison medication swapped by Ross. After being arrested, thrown behind bars, and throwing a violent fit in her jail cell, she finally received the bombshell news from Lucas. She is not dying. The diagnosis was a complete lie, a cruel manipulation involving saline solution in a syringe. Britt is finally free. She has a completely clean slate, a brand new lease on life, and she is desperately looking for a fresh start. And if you ask me, in her mind, that fresh start has always included Jason. She has been clinging to the memory of their deep connection, hoping that once the dust settled, they could finally be a real, committed couple. When Britt and Jason finally cross paths at the hospital, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a surgical scalpel. We already saw Britt slap Jason across the face, using that explosive moment of anger as a clever cover to make him her patient so they could speak privately in an examination room. Britt is furious, yes, but beneath that anger is a desperate, unyielding love. She wants to tear down his walls. She wants to look him in the eye and hear him say that they can finally be together, that the timing is right, and that they can rebuild the beautiful romance they once had. She is ready to lay her heart completely on the line for this man, hoping to uncover a long-buried secret of passion between them. But that's not even the craziest part. Let us really break down that hospital examination room scene, guys, because the body language alone was a masterclass in unspoken agony. When Britt locked that door, she was practically vibrating with a mix of fury and desperate hope. She paced the floor, her eyes wide, waiting for Jason to close the distance between them, to pull her into his arms and tell her that the nightmare was over. But Jason just stood there as rigid as a statue. He did not step forward. He did not reach out to comfort her. His posture was entirely defensive, his arms crossed, his expression an impenetrable mask of stoicism. You could physically see the exact moment Britt's heart dropped into her stomach. She realized right then and there that the man standing in front of her was not the man who once fought for her. The silence in that room was deafening, a heavy, suffocating blanket that snuffed out the last remaining embers of their past romance. The truly jaw-dropping twist here is Jason's reaction to her emotional vulnerability. Guys, Jason is going to look Britt dead in the eye and completely, unapologetically reject her romantic advances. He is going to shut her down with a coldness that will make your blood freeze. Jason does not want to get deeply involved in Britt's personal life anymore, and he absolutely refuses to use his need to care for Danny as a convenient excuse to fall back into bed with her. If you ask me, Jason is suffering from profound emotional exhaustion. After the endless trauma, the mob violence, the captivity, and the sheer weight of his past relationships, he is just done. He is entirely burned out on the concept of love. He has no desire to chase romance, to navigate the messy emotions of a relationship, or to open his heart to another woman. The romantic part of Jason's soul has been completely boarded up. But that's not even the craziest part. Just when you think Britt is going to walk away with a shattered heart, Jason's going to drop a bombshell proposition that will fundamentally change the trajectory of their lives forever. Jason knows that Danny needs stability. He knows that his son needs a maternal figure, someone fiercely protective and loving to help guide him through these difficult teenage years. So, instead of offering Britt a romantic relationship, Jason is going to offer her a job, so to speak. He is going to ask Britt to step into the role of Danny's stepmother. Yes, you heard me right. Jason is proposing a strictly platonic co-parenting partnership. He wants Britt to be a permanent fixture in Danny's life, to support him, to guide him, and to act as his mother figure. But with one massive, non-negotiable condition. There will be absolutely zero romance between Jason and Britt. They will be a family in name only, completely devoid of any romantic intimacy. But that's not even the craziest part. The absolute climax of this storyline is that Britt is actually going to accept his brutal terms. I am utterly devastated just thinking about the psychological torture this woman is signing up for. Britt still harbors deep, passionate feelings for Jason. She loves him with every fiber of her being, yet she is going to agree to this hollow arrangement because she knows it is the only possible way she can remain in his orbit. She understands that if she wants to be a part of Danny's life and by extension Jason's life, she has to strictly respect the ironclad boundaries that Jason has erected. She's willingly choosing to become a stepmother to Danny, knowing full well that she will never, ever have Jason's heart. It is a sacrifice born out of pure, desperate love. Imagine the daily, agonizing reality of this situation for Britt. She will be living under the same roof, or at least operating within the same tight-knit family unit, sharing meals, attending school events, and making parenting decisions alongside the man of her dreams. She will see Jason every single day. She will watch him smile at Danny, watch him be the incredible father he has sworn to be, but when the day ends, she will go to a cold, empty bed. She will be close enough to touch him, but miles away from ever truly reaching his soul. It is a brilliant, yet incredibly cruel compromise. She secures a permanent, irreplaceable position in Danny's life, but she has to completely sacrifice her own romantic happiness and self-worth to do it. Jason, on the other hand, is going to use this arrangement to prove to himself and to everyone else that he is a changed man. He is no longer the enforcer who runs toward danger, and he is no longer the brooding hero who gets swept up in complicated love affairs. By maintaining this strict, platonic boundary with a woman as beautiful and dynamic as Britt, Jason is proving that his sole, unwavering focus is Danny. He is completely desensitized to romance. He is viewing this entire setup as a practical, logical solution to a parenting problem, completely ignoring the emotional devastation it is causing the woman standing right in front of him. It is a chilling reminder of how pragmatic and emotionally detached Jason can truly be when he sets his mind to a goal. And let us not even get started on how the rest of the town is going to react to this bizarre pact. Carly is going to absolutely lose her mind when she finds out that Jason is letting Britt step into the role of Danny's stepmother. We all know Carly has never fully trusted Britt, and the idea of Britt having permanent access to Jason's son is going to send Carly into a protective tailspin. She will question Jason's judgment, demanding to know why he is tying himself to a woman he refuses to love. Sonny, on the other hand, might actually respect the pragmatic nature of the deal. Sonny understands making hard choices for the sake of family, but even he will have to wonder if Jason is punishing himself by living a joyless existence. For Britt, this is going to be the ultimate test of her endurance. We all know Britt is a fighter. We know she has a fiery, passionate spirit. But how long can a woman like that survive in a completely sterile, loveless partnership? Every time Jason looks at her with gratitude instead of desire, it is going to be a tiny dagger to her heart. She will have the title, the family dinners, and the respect of being Danny's stepmother, but she will be starved for the affectionate touch and the romantic devotion that she truly craves. She is locking herself inside a beautiful, gilded cage, trading her chance at true, reciprocal love for a front row seat to Jason's life as a devoted father. This entire dynamic is going to wreak devastation on Britt's mental state over time. We are going to see her putting on a brave face for Danny, acting like the perfect, supportive, maternal figure while secretly crying in her car outside the hospital. She is going to have to watch Jason interact with other people, knowing she has absolutely no right to be jealous because she agreed to these exact terms. And Jason, in his single minded focus on his son, will likely be completely oblivious to the silent suffering he is inflicting on her. He will view her as a reliable partner, a teammate in the business of raising Danny, completely blind to the fact that his teammate is bleeding out emotionally right beside him. If you ask me, the writers are giving us a masterclass in tragic irony. The very thing that brings Britt back into Jason's inner circle is the exact same thing that will keep her permanently locked out of his heart. It is a beautifully twisted narrative that perfectly captures the essence of a soap opera bombshell. We are getting the family dynamic we always wanted, but at the absolute highest, most heartbreaking cost imaginable. Jason is finally stepping up to be the father Danny deserves, but in doing so, he has completely killed the romantic hero inside himself, leaving Britt to pick up the emotional pieces of a love story that will never truly begin again. But guys, we all know that a secret like this, a boundary this fragile, cannot possibly last forever in a town like ours. How long will it be before Britt's suppressed feelings finally boil over into an explosive confrontation? What happens when Danny starts asking questions about why his father and his stepmother sleep in separate rooms and never hold hands? And the biggest question of all, when another dangerous threat inevitably targets this newly formed, fragile family unit, will Jason's protective instincts finally reignite the passion he swore was dead? Or will Britt realize she has wasted the rest of her healthy life waiting for a statue to love her back? We will just have to tune in next week to see if this twisted arrangement survives the pressure cooker.